Welcome. It's so lovely to see you. I've got my coffee, need a bit of caffeine today. So, I thought what might be useful to have a chat about today is 5 things to know about what having a baby at 49 is like and things that nobody understands. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Diane. I had my precious Eva at 49, a solo mum by choice, and an older mum by choice. Now, people kind of assume I'm desperate, I'm reckless, I'm lonely, but that's actually not correct. It can be so much more than that, more than anybody can realize. If you are considering being a solo mum by choice, or you already are, here's some things I wish I already knew. Number one, it's not a last resort. It's actually a conscious choice. It wasn't a panic decision for me. It wasn't a time is running out. Oh my gosh. It was clarity and a desire to become a mum. That was my longing desire. I thought about it in depth. I'd wrestled with it. I grieved the version of motherhood that I thought I would have. And then I embraced a new journey. I made a choice. I didn't give up on being a partner with anybody. What I did do is I refused to give up on my desire to be a mum. That clearly matters for me, and that distinction is very clear. Secondly, the emotional load is so much bigger than the practical one. It is a little bit around the logistics. What do I do if I'm sick? Who helps? What about the money? They're all things to think about. Like, you've got to plan about these things, don't get me wrong. But the real weight is emotional. I am the nighttime planner. I am the long-term planner. I am the decision maker. I am the buffer. I am the financial provider. That is me 24/7. There is no buffer. That is really tricky sometimes, don't get me wrong. But there's something really strengthening about it too. I chose it, and I know I have my own back. And that taught me that emotional regulation and mastery. Thirdly, grief and joy can actually coexist. Now, stick with me for this. I didn't really think that it could, but it actually can. And for me, I didn't realize until I was in the thick of it. So what do I mean by that? I felt overwhelming love for my baby, and I do every day for my precious Eva. And I can also grieve the life I didn't have and the path I didn't have. I can be grateful and exhausted. I can be certain and scared, especially at 49, when for me, my body was in the midst of perimenopause and didn't even realize. It was moving into menopause, again, didn't even realize. And that with new motherhood is tricky. I won't lie. What did it teach me? Emotional mastery. How to recognize what's my body telling me. What do I need for myself as a mum? And what do I need for my daughter? That's my emotional regulation. I also want to acknowledge that our age, and becoming a mum can be a duality, strength. Now at 49, I'm not 29. My energy is different. My social circle's in a different life stage. But here's the difference. Think about it. At 49, I had clarity. I had very clear boundaries. I had financial stability. And I had life perspective. Now, I am a much calmer mum now than I would have been in my 30s. And we don't talk about this. Let's talk about this some more. Lastly, the choice reveals who truly understands you. What do I mean by that? Some people actually don't get the choice. Some people don't understand the shift in priorities. Some will project their fears onto you. Some relationships will just quietly shift. They might even end. I've had all of that. And others will show up in ways that will restore your faith in humanity. it is a whole new layer to navigate. It's a new filter for you in later life. It's actually quite a key filter for me on what truly matters, who is there, truly there, and who's meant to be there for that season of life for you. So let's sit with, that's a lot of heaviness. So let's take a moment. Let's have a sip of coffee. I want to say that having a baby at 49, it's not loud in a brave way. It's brave in a calm and steady way. Now, it isn't for everybody. For some of us, like me, it is the doorway to the life I knew I was meant to live. I knew through all my cycles that I was meant to be a mum. People always ask me, why do you keep going? Because I know I'm going to be a mum. I'll follow the path. It may divert. It may swoosh, swerve, throw me upside down. But I know I will reach motherhood. Now, I chose donor conception, and I chose to be a solo mum by choice. If any of this resonates with you, if this is you, if you think it could be you and I can help in any way, subscribe, the link below. Check out my other videos. Let's stay in touch. I have got some freebies available for you, and I will link them below in the show notes. Let's talk about things. Let's disrupt this notion of motherhood and what it should be like, IVF and what it should be like, donor conception and what it should be like, and let's share and celebrate lived experience. Cheers to us, my lovelies. Have a wonderful rest of your day.